This video is for searing fish and then finished by butter basting with some brown butter in the pan. This technique can be applied to really any type of fish, and if you think about it, chicken, beef, or any other meat as well. We're going to start by taking a pan and getting it hot over a flame. One of the biggest reasons that food sticks to any pan is that our pan's not hot enough, so we're going to begin to preheat the pan. While the pan's preheating, we'll go ahead and take our piece of meat, or fish in this case. We'll go ahead and season generously with salt and pepper on both sides. Make sure not to be shy with the seasoning. Then we'll take our chosen fat, definitely something with a high smoking point. In this particular case, it's clarified butter, but any oil with a high smoking point will do. Should always remember that we are searing this piece of fish, not pan frying, so you really only need enough fat to cover the bottom of the pan. What we're looking for is our fat to come to just the beginning stages of the smoking point. Again, to get the best sear, nice hot pan, hot fat, and a nice dry surface is going to give you the best result. When we put our product down, we always want to place it down in the pan away from us, so that if any fat was to splash out of the pan, it would splash away from you, not towards you. And then one of the hardest things to do is just let the fish cook. At this point, we want to make sure that we have constant contact between the fish and the pan, so we get the most uniform color, and it happens the quickest. Going to keep an eye on the heat because we want a nice light smoking point. If the pan gets too hot, smoke will get too intense, and then we could risk burning the fish or igniting the fat. The only real movement you need to do at this point is every once in a while lifting up the fish just to get a look at the color and make sure you're happy with it. And then just rotating the pan from time to time to make sure that the fat is touching all parts of the fish and getting in all the nooks and crannies. Other than that though, just letting the fish sit there and let the heat do its job. Checking for color. And when your pan is appropriately heated and the surface of the fish is dry, you really don't need to use any sort of a non-stick pan because the fish will not stick to the pan. So at this point, the color should be getting pretty close to where we want it. So we'll go in and check again. When we're happy with the color, we'll flip the fish. And we're going to take some whole butter and place that into the pan. We're going to allow the whole butter to melt and then brown. It's also nice to add a little bit of fresh herb. In this particular case, we're using fresh thyme. Depending on the product, fresh rosemary is a nice touch, or even a clove of smashed garlic, whatever aromatics you prefer. At this point, our whole butter has melted and is beginning to brown. The thyme is flavoring the butter. Then we're going to pick up a nice large kitchen spoon, tilt the pan slightly, and then begin to baste the fish with the brown butter. This is going to help increase the uniformity of our color. It's going to help with the flavor. And also the thyme, which flavor is infused into the butter, is going to influence the flavor of the fish as well. This technique does take a little bit of practice to learn. At first, it is not uncommon to splash butter or fat all over your burners, but the more you do it, the more you practice, you gain control. It becomes rather easy. We've placed the herb on top of the fish to increase the flavor transfer. And now we're just going to continue to baste the product. The uniformity of the color will become more apparent. We'll even start to color the sides of the fish as well. You just want to be careful at this stage to just watch your heat. Brown butter is wonderful, but we want to make sure not to burn or blacken the butter. And we're just tilting the pan so that the fat pools in the bottom of the pan, making it easier to fill the spoon and then flick the fat on top of the product. For a thicker product, for a higher heat, After this process is done, you're absolutely welcome to place the product on a sizzle platter and then finish it in the oven, depending on your desired doneness. In this particular instance, we're looking for a medium rare on the salmon. And since we are taking our time and working over a moderate heat at this point, this piece of fish will not need to be finished in the oven. You'll notice the color on the top of the fish is now very uniform and beautiful. Now we're prepared to take the fish out of the pan. Using our fish spatula, we'll slide under the fish, and we're just going to go onto a paper towel for a moment so that some of the fat can drip off the fish. It doesn't run all over your plate. And then we take our warm plate, go ahead and place the fish in the middle of the plate, at which point it is ready to serve. Nice doneness, beautiful color, beautiful fish.